Thank you all very much for your time. 大家好，我接下来呢会用英文完成我的演讲，但是如果后面大家有什么问题，也可以用中文来提问。First of all, I'm gonna share my screen here, and let's warm up by giving a little bit introduction about myself. Now I am one of the business development manager in Brighton, and I'm located in Sydney. I came to Australia almost 10 years ago for my master's degree, and 2 years later I got my degree, and I just found Australia is such a beautiful and peaceful country. So I stayed and started my family here. Professionally, before I joined Brighton, I spent basically all my professional years in mortgage-related industry. I have been a broker, a loan processor, and I spent years in a law firm doing settlement, and I still hold my full conveyancing license in New South Wales. In the other hand, I am a mortgagor myself. I have my own mortgage as well. So I understand and I can relate to all the questions, queries, and even emotions involved in the whole process. And hopefully today the webinar can get you one step closer to your dream home. Okay, now let's talk about Australian property market outlook. Currently, the auction clearance rate in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne are still stable and consistent. There are still good volume of properties sold before auction. They are all good indicators of a firm market. However, according to CoreLogic Daily Index, they predict softer prices in most capital cities. And there are some factors may negatively affect house prices over the next 6 to 12 months, including increasing unemployment rate, slower wage growth, and weak confidence to weigh on prices. And also, the historical low interest rate may negatively affect the prices as well. But on the other hand, the government has taken some very powerful acts to form the market, including first home buyer grant of $25,000 towards newly constructed homes. And also, New South Wales and Victoria state government are considering phasing out stamp duty and replacing it with land tax. So all factors considered, Australia is still one of the most stable and reliable market around the world. And if you are interested in Australian real estate market, either as an investor or as a purchaser or as an immigrant wishes to start a family here, Brighten is here to help you. We are an Australian-owned, Australian-based, and Australian-regulated non-bank lender. We proudly support the universal right of home ownership, and our clients is striving for a brighter future for their families. Brighten welcomes all applicants, either they are Australian residents or they are non-residents alike, offering everyone a chance to realizing the Australian dream. Our team benefits not only decades of experience in Australian mortgage industry, but also financial services across the Asian Pacific region. This expertise sets us apart from other lenders. Being an Australian organization, we have a deep understanding and a permanent on-the-ground presence in Asia. Brighten is not just your broker, we are your lender. Our loans are fully funded by institutional capital and specially designed to suit your requirements, delivered in your language, and our professional multilingual lending specialists are already here, ready to guide you through the whole journey. And here is a brief introduction about our management team. As the saying goes, a company is only as good as the people. So you can see our team has exceptional quality. They have accumulated decades of knowledge, experiences, resources, connections, and more importantly, they are all here for you. For our clients, we are here to help you to get one step closer to your dream home in Australia. And here is some recent media coverage about us. You can see us getting funds from Goldman And actually, we are the only non-bank in Australia could say that. And I think that's certainly something in the financial world. And we have Natalie as our head of distribution, Adam as our head of funding and securitization. They are all gurus in the money world. We also get mentioned and praised many times on the mainstream media in Australia, such as The Advisor or the Financial Review Australia. As our motto goes, we are here to shape non-bank lending, and we really are putting our hearts and souls in here. And in the left corner, you can see there's something about me where I share my thoughts about mortgage and myself. Okay, moving on, let's talk about the key features of Brighten offering. We accept apartments, townhouses, and houses in all Australian states. And we have a faster turnaround time, and we can accept purchase, refinance, equity release, and even construction loans. For a self-employed client, we offer a tailored out-doc solution for them, and we offer complimentary pre-assessment and conditional written approval free of charge. And also, if the supporting documents are in Chinese, we don't even require them to be translated because we have a multilingual processing team. And our offer is very diversified, whether you are looking for a purchase, refinance, equity release, and a construction loan with progress payments, or whether you are a salaried employee or employment businessman or woman, whether you already hold a visa or you are a non-resident, we got you covered. Also, we could accept repayments by direct debit from an Australian bank account. We can accept principal and interest repayment, and or grant up to 5 years of interest-only repayment if you don't want to tighten your cash flow. And in terms of the required document, for PAYG client, the income documents include Brighten template employment income verification form, and the employer needs to sign it. Also, a 3-month bank statement showing salary crediting is needed. And for self-employed client, the income documents include Brighten template self-employee income verification form, and the practicing accountant needs to sign it. A 6-month personal bank statement and a 1 month of the business bank statement is also required. Then the identification, including a certified copy of passport and ID card. And thirdly, we need a personal credit report from the country of residency. On top of that, it is also required for the client to show funds to complete the purchase, and also evidence of security, including contract for sale for new purchase or copy of title for refinance or equity release. And currently, we have 4 different products offering, catering different needs for different clients. First of all, we have Brighten Saver. The starting rate from the honeymoon starting rate from 4.48 for the first year, and we can lend up to 1.5 million with a 75% LVR. And then we have Brighten Evergreen with the ongoing rate start from 5.36. For this type of product, we can learn up to 2 million with 75% LVR. Then we have another zero risk fee, zero establishment fee product called Brighten Platinum. For this one, we also can lend up to 1.5 million with 75% LVR. The last, certainly not least, we have Brighten Easy Builder. And this product is particularly designed for construction loan. And for this one, we can learn up to 2 million with 70% LVR. And also, our flyers and product offering are translated into 4 different languages. And we don't need Google Translate to do that, as we have multilingual processing team and ready to here to help you. And in the end, I just want to give you a general idea in terms how we normally will process an application. I just want to show you guys how simple, easy, and fuss-free the journey is going to be. First of all, we will process your application and the supporting documents provided. and they issue you with conditional written approval within 48 hours. And this is completely free of charge. After the fee is settled, we will begin our valuation and income verification process. And then we will issue you the formal loan approval, then forward you all the necessary documents for you to sign. Along with that, we have a detailed instruction to guide you through the journey, how to sign the documents, how to return them. And then we finalize our settlement and your loan is released to you and you got your dream house. Simple as that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about Brighten. That's over to you, Jimmy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. K. Yang. Okay, for sharing with us the type of loans and available, and also the current effort by the government to encourage the investment into property in Australia. Okay. The next we would like to have Dato Michael Yong, the founder and the MDs of To Migration Advisory, to share with us some of the visa available for those who are interested to migrate to Australia. So if you have any question pertaining to the loan or properties, or even on the migration, we do appreciate that you post it in our comment section. Then we will try to answer as much as possible by end of the presentation. Dato.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. It was really a good knowledge session by K. Yang on sharing about loan to non-resident. Especially on the past few years, we have a lot of migrants from our firm who got a permanent resident moving to Australia. They find difficulty of getting their home loan, right? Because they still have their income from the back home, their overseas income. So those of you out there, if you are hunting for home and the decision to make your decision to buy a home is held back because of the mortgage, this is a good opportunity for you to approach K. Where they actually accept non-resident, and they also accept overseas income as your proof of income to obtain a loan. So 70 to 75% of percentage of loan is quite generous, as the Australia Big Four bank has been tightening to foreign lender for the past few years, and it's pretty hard for new migrants to get a loan. So thank you that we have K here today. So today, basically, I will share with you a visa where all migrants will have to face. It is called a resident return visa. So let me put on a slide. So while I'm presenting, I will just introduce a brief about To, those who are new to us. And then when I come to the part where I present about the criteria for resident return visa, my colleague K will translate in Chinese, in Mandarin for me. Okay, am I on a share screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so as I shared earlier, my topic today is called the resident return visa. And what is this visa for? This visa is actually for migrants who have obtained their permanent resident visa. And when the visa comes to the expiry or before expiry, you have to renew it before you can re-enter Australia. Introduction about To. You can call me Michael Yong. I basically have a full license by the Department of Home Affairs of Australia, and I'm a registered Australian migration agent. I got my license, a full license in the year of 2009. That's what you can see from number 09 means represent the year that I got my full license. I also have a license for New Zealand Immigration Advisor, but today I will just talk about Australia. So I myself is also a migrant way back 15 years ago when I was planning to migrate because my children are growing up. So being someone who graduated from Australia, obviously migrating Australia is my first choice, which until now I never regret. All my children have grown up. In my family, I basically have a dentist, I have a lawyer, and I have an accountant from my children there. So I'm very proud that I did this move. And over the last 12 years of running Kitson Migration, I realized that there's more support that a migration firm should give to a client, not only to get you a visa, but also to be able to integrate you to settle in Australia. So we have been doing this video for the last 2 months during this COVID period, and we try our best to invite speakers that relates to your settlement in Australia. And today, I'm so glad that we have Yong here, that you actually solve a big problem that most migrant has. Oh, I want to buy a house. I can afford the down payment, but I can't get a mortgage. So hold on, let me find a job and build up my document, my credential in Australia. So this has delayed a lot of migrants making decision to buy a house. So a bit about Kitson. We actually started way back from our Brisbane office. That's more than 20, 30 years ago, close to 30 years, all right? So, and in Malaysia operation, we came in way back in 2009. So I came in to take over the operation from the head office. We started from Kuala Lumpur, and then we expand to those who are familiar with Malaysia, will be PJ to Penang, and then we went up to Brunei and even to Kota Kinabalu. So recently, we just have our joint partner in Indonesia, who is based in Surabaya. And 2.5 years ago, Kitson Migration realized that we have more and more migrants moving into South Australia. So we set up an Adelaide office and we transferred 2 of our Malaysian colleagues over there to support our client in Australia, in Adelaide. So who we are? Obviously, my team of agents are all registered. We are all registered with a body called MARA, which is administrated by the Department of Home Affairs. And to understand how experienced the agent is, just look at our registered number in front. Like my senior partner, Helen Duncan, she's an agent in the year 2000. So before that, she was the Vice Counsel of Immigration Australia, and her role also involved approving visa when she was with the government. So each of us handle a particular area of visa. So myself and my colleague, Ms. Moon, we are both Malaysian. I'm based in Malaysia. Moon is based in the Adelaide office. We are very specialized in scale migration, business migration, and investor migration. And then my other colleague back in the Brisbane office, we have colleagues who are specialized in family visa. We have colleagues who specialize in working visa. So why Kitson? We have best of both worlds. We have offices in Australia and in Malaysia. So whichever part of Australia you are in, you need any assistance, our colleague will be there to help you. And when you're in Malaysia, we have a strong team of colleagues moving nationwide to support you in the whole application. So as I shared earlier on, we have to be a registered migration agent. So my colleagues are all registered. We have a couple of accountants in the office who handle the business visa, 6 registered migration agents, and the Malaysia operation is already more than 10 years in operation. And worldwide, we have more than 14,000 customers. So what service do we provide? Now, those of you who have not obtained the visa, or if you are planning to renew the visa, speak to us. We will give you a free initial consultation. So during this lockdown, some clients prefer Zoom. We'll be happy to conduct a Zoom meeting with you. You prefer us to drop by to your place. If it's convenient time, we'll be happy to meet you too. So after the initial meeting, we'll map up the visa pathway for you. So some of you are maybe eligible for one option or 2 options. So our role is to tell you the cheapest and the shortest pathway. Then our advice will not just stop there. We will be here supporting you for the next 12 to 18 months because the visa application takes between a year to a year and a half. Some visa take a bit longer. So our team will be here to support you and to keep in contact with you and also to keep update about your visa status. Now, once the visa is granted, good news, you got a permanent resident, I know you're happy about it. Then I always say the big question mark will come. Now it's time to move. All right, when to migrate. So I myself, being a migrant who went there way back 15 years ago, I went through all the up and down. I basically summarized some of the very important needs that we need when we are there. Yeah? So that's why Kitson even provide the post grant. So when you are in Australia or when you're prepared to migrate to Australia, speak to us in terms of planning for your children education, how do you obtain the Medicare benefit. Those who are on business visa, we have on the ground colleague in Adelaide office to assist you to find businesses, to recommend broker to you, to recommend business owner for you. Those of you who want to know about finance, tax, we will refer to accountant for you. And for housing, we have a wonderful lady, Yong here, to assist you on the loan, get your pre-approved loan, all right, get your pre-approved loan, and then you can start to hunt for the house. And in Australia, to buy a house is very fast. You can get a settlement between 21 days, So it's really very fast in Australia. So it's good to prepare everything ahead before you move over. Okay, my today's topic, I will talk about the resident return visa. So Australia visa basically have subclass number. So resident return visa, subclass number 155 and 157. So as I shared with you earlier on, now, regardless whether you enter Australia as a skilled migrant, a business migrant, family category, or those of you who enter as the protection visa, right? We all have the first round of 5 years resident return visa, most of it. So once this visa is granted to you, you have the right to stay indefinite in Australia. Now, however, when you leave Australia, you need to have a returning visa to return. That's why it's called a resident return visa. So only a citizen will have the free right of in and out of Australia, indefinite, but for permanent resident, you must have a valid visa for you to return. So over to you, Kay.
OK， thank you, Michael。那么今天呢，我们就要来分析一下澳洲的其中一个签证，叫做居民返程签证。好，那么我们就说一下这个签证到底有些什么人符合资格申请呢？这类型的签证呢，只适合持着澳洲永久签证的人士申请的。那么，如果你今天是澳洲公民的话呢，那基本上你是不需要申请这个签证的，因为澳洲公民呢，你可以不限时间、不限地点的，你可以随意的进出澳洲。那么，如果你今天是澳洲的永久签证呢，你基本上呢是有权无期的居留在澳洲，住在澳洲。但是如果你今天你要选择出境澳洲，或者是你想要出去旅游一下，然后再回来的话呢，那么在入境澳洲之前呢，你必须要确保你是有着有效的签证返回澳洲的。那么通常呢，我们会说永久签证嘛，对吧？那永久签证的话呢，是不是证明说我就是永久的就可以在澳洲了？那我就不用申请其他签证了？其实这个说法呢，是有所保留的，因为永久签证是说你可以永久的居住在澳洲，但是如果你今天你要出境澳洲的话呢，你必须要申请一个签证，叫做居民返程签证，这个叫155或者是157。好，那么呢，这个永久签证呢，通常呢，移民局只会批5年。那5年之后呢，如果你想要进出澳洲的时候呢，你必须要持有一个签证，叫做155或157的居民返程签证，来让你可以自由的出入境澳洲。好，Michael。
Thank you, Kay. So I will call it short RRV, Resident Return Visa. So throughout the few slides, I will just use the word RRV. So what are the types of RRV available? So one of it is called Subclass 155, and the other one is Subclass 157. Now, 155 subclass. Now, the easiest way for you to renew your permanent resident, your resident return visa, is that in the last 5 years, you must accumulate 2 years stay. So that include your fly in and fly out. We count by number of days. So if you would be keeping record of your travel, so today, if I apply, I will calculate back 5 years from today. Total number of stay in Australia, 730 days. It's a very simple application. You can go online, lodge in the application online. The computer will calculate the days for you. If the number of days is correct, usually the visa will be granted within the 24 hours. Yeah? So that applies to every single individual family. So if your husband and wife have a visa with 3 children, the 2 years out of 5 years stay apply to individual. Remember that. So you can't say that, oh, my wife stay 1 year, I stay 1 year, can I combine? I always get this question. Now, for those of you who can't stay 2 years in the last 5 years, right, which quite a lot of migrants may end up in that category. Some of them are because they are not ready to migrate yet. Some of them are business owner, they need to fly in and fly out. There are ways for you to renew your resident return visa on a yearly basis, yearly RRV. So the condition for you to renew your yearly RRV is that you must have one of the substantial ties below. So the ties to Australia must be substantial. So some clients come to us and say, oh, I have this tie, that tie, that tie. Then I will say, okay, it must be substantial. So the area of ties that you can build is through business tie, employment tie, personal tie, cultural tie. The next few slides, I will go into every single tie. I will just give you some brief example of what ties that you can build for you to maintain your yearly resident return visa. And there is also a group of a small group of category, those who left Australia for more than 5 years. You may be having a PR after you graduate, but because of family commitment or work, you end up coming back home to Australia, have your children, and suddenly you realize, oh, I have not been back to Australia for more than 5 years. Can you still renew the visa, right? Yes, there are ways to renew, but you must have a compelling reason for your absence, why you can't return back. So we have done a few clients using compelling reason. We have very good experience of getting positive renewal. So if you are in that area, speak to us later. We'll be happy to run through to see whether you are eligible. And there's another subclass 157, which very rarely I have seen department granting this visa. This is for those who are already in Australia and there's emergency, you must leave Australia and you do not have enough substantial tie to get your subclass 155 for a 1-year renewal. Right? The department will look at giving you a 3-month resident return visa for you to leave Australia for emergency, like you have some family matter to attend in Malaysia, there is some urgent matters you must return back, then they give you 3 months period to move back. Right? Over to you, Kay.
OK， 我们先说一下，就是RRV 就是刚刚我说的那个居民返程签证嘛，对吧？那么呢，这类型的签证呢，总共有分为3大类。那首先就是5年的 RRV， 那么要如何拿到每5年的 RRV 呢？那么非常简单，申请人只需要住满2年，在过去5年里面，你要以 PR 的身份或者是人家叫绿卡的身份，在澳洲住满2年的话呢，那么你就可以申请5年的 RRV。5年的 RRV 呢，它是有效的居住在澳洲。出入境澳洲5年，长达5年，那每5年呢，你只要符合2年的居住要求，你就可以再申请5年。通常呢，这类型的签证呢，它的下签速度是非常之快的，基本上24个小时里面呢，你的签证就会下来啦。那么有了这个 RRV 之后呢，你基本上出入境澳洲是绝对没有问题的。好，那么有一部分的人呢，他可能无法满足2年的居住要求，那么他是不是就不符合资格申请 RRV 了呢？那其实不是的，澳洲的移民政府呢，其实是相当的有人情味的。如果你符合不了2年的居住要求的话呢，那么你只需要有一些就是有澳洲的一些连带关系，或者是我们所称为的纽带关系的话呢，你也可以申请1年的 RRV。那么这个1年的 RRV 呢，它是比较有一点点稍微的要求高一点，就是说你必须要有澳洲的一些连带关系，比如说是生意上的。或者是你在澳洲是属于雇佣关系的，然后或者是你本身有个人关系，亲人啊、家人啊，在澳洲等等的。然后还有一个就是文化纽带，文化纽带就可能你是一个艺人、歌星，还是你一个非常出名的人，然后你在澳洲是有曝光率很高的，然后你就可以申请这方面的1年的 RRV。好，那么呢，一小部分的人呢，他就比较特别一点，他就可能离开澳洲就超过5年的，然后在这5年期间呢，他的出入境记录呢，他也非常之少，然后呢，同时呢，他也没有申请任何的 RRV 的。那么呢，这类型的人呢，他其实还可以再申请 RRV 的，你只需要提供你与澳洲的纽带关系之外呢，你还必须要告诉移民局说，为什么你这5年你是属于缺席的，你没有回到澳洲，你到底有些什么迫不得已的理由？那么那理由可以很多种，比如说因为一些紧急事件，还是可能是海外的家人啊、亲朋戚友生病啦，那你不可以回到澳洲，那你必须要留在你海外的照顾你的家人等等的，那你必须要提供一些很 strong 的一个理由来告诉移民局说那你今天你缺席是因为有这些某某某某理由的，那同时你还是要提供你的纽带关系啦。 好，那么我们先说一下另外第三种的 RRV， 我们叫做157，就是3个月的 RRV。那么呢，通常呢，这类型的签证呢，它是给予一些你首先无法满足居住2年的要求，同时你的澳洲联系跟纽带是不强的。就可能你的关系可能只有个人关系，你的小孩或者是你的另一半在澳洲生活，但是你无法提供你的那个生意上的业务的连带关系，还是你有雇佣的连带关系等等的。那么今天你是可以申请这个3个月的 RRV， 让你自由进出澳洲的。但是同时呢，你在申请这个3个月 RRV 的同时呢，你还要提供一个理由，就是你为什么你为什么今天无法居住在澳洲？在过去5年里面，你为什么无法居住在澳洲？这些等等的，你还是必须要提供理由的。
Okay, as I shared earlier on, if you can't meet the resident requirement, you can use substantial ties to renew your resident return visa for 1 year. So the first tie I'll talk about is business tie. So business tie are quite common for business owner because most business owner under the business visa, especially the subclass 132, which is a permanent resident, or subclass 888, which is a permanent resident, because you have business commitment back home in your home country, you have to fly in and out Australia, right? So because of that, you can't fulfill the resident requirement of 2 years out of 5 years. You can use business ties in Australia, right? Business tie means that you have an Australian company in Australia, you have ownership in the business, and the department will want to see your role and responsibility in the business. They want to see that the business is active. That's why they want to see transaction. If you are having a joint venture with the local partner, they want to see the joint venture agreement to ensure that your role are clearly defined, that required to participate that company in Australia. All right, and if any contract that you have signed, we need that. Also, you need to provide your business and personal record. Okay.
OK， 我们刚刚解释了就是不同的纽带关系嘛，对吧？那么今天呢，我们就深入的讲解每一个纽带，他们到底所需要的材料清单都有哪些。那么首先第一呢，我们先说一些生意业务，就是一些生意人呢，他在澳洲呢，他可能有一个自己本身的生意，或者是有一些参与现有的生意等等的。那么你要如何跟澳洲政府说我今天我有生意业务的这个纽带关系在澳洲呢？那么你可以首先你可以提供就是你的业务报告、你的财政报告，然后你的公司的一些财政报告等等的。然后呢，在这个报告里面呢，必须要清楚标注你的岗位，还有你的所工作的你的一些职责等等。然后同时呢，你也可以提供一些业务上的交易，然后银行公司银行的流水单等等的。这些材料呢，就是你可以提供越多越好，就是多多益善嘛。然后呢，第三，如果你有跟一些公司是有合作关系啊，还是一些合资的一些关系的话呢，你也可以提供相关的合同。然后还有就是每一份的资料合同上呢，最好就是有你本人的签名嘛，那证明说这个公司是你的，还是由你来全权负责的。这些文件都是越多越好。然后呢，同时你也可以提供一些关于业务，还有一些个人记录，证明你是这个公司的负责人，然后你来执行这些公司上的一些业务等等的。
Thank you, Kay. All right. In this slide, there's 2 ties, substantial tie. Let me talk about cultural tie. Cultural tie is a tie that usually is for people who contribute to Australia, where you actually benefit Australian, and then a cultural link that you have will impact the Australian life and also the Australian economy. So it has to be substantial. If you are internationally recognized, it will be helpful, right? If you are just a membership of maybe certain golf club in Australia, I would say that's not substantial. So what are documents that require for cultural tie is that publication written by you, contracts, maybe a contracts of work or contract of performance, evidence of membership of cultural association, newspaper article about you, and also if you have any program, any artistic or cultural performance, then your name is mentioned. These are documents that we require for cultural ties. Now, the other tie of employment tie. So we have done quite a number of clients who are under employment tie. Employment tie means that you are being employed by an Australian company working overseas. Yeah, remember that it's not your home country employment. So if today you are employed by an Australian company and then you were transferred to maybe Malaysia or to Brunei, and you have to regularly report to Australia for your work, and your work involve promoting Australian product that is benefiting to the Australian. So we will need employment contracts, your official documents of your employment, and also employment identification. So the list of documents, when we are handling your case, we actually have a checklist, a quite comprehensive one, and then we will get all these documents. Over to you, Kay.
Thank you, Michael. OK， 然后呢，我们现在只讲一下，就是一些文化的纽带。那么文化的纽带呢，就像我刚刚说的，如果你今天呢是属于一些对澳洲政府就是有一些怎么说一些有 benefits 对澳洲政府的话呢，那么呢你必须要提供以下的资料，比如说你的一些出版物，你所写的一些出版物，然后你跟澳洲当地一些集团啊，一些合作的一些合同等等的，然后同时呢，你也要提供一些会员的资格的证明，还有就是有关于你报道文章的一些检查呀等等。然后呢，还有就是你也可以提供你的关于你的一些艺术文化表演节目的一些资料，来证明说你对澳洲是有贡献的。好，那么我们接下来我们所说的就是一些 employment 呢是非常的受用的，就是说很多时候很多申请人呢，他们在申请 RRV 的时候呢，他们都会利用这个 employment tie 来证明说他们在澳洲是有一些连带关系的。那么 employment tie 呢，就是首先你必须要是有澳洲的雇主来担保你，就是说澳洲的雇主今天他是聘请你的。而这公司不可以是海外的，它必须是要澳洲本地的公司来聘请你。那么呢，你必须要出示就是那个劳动合同，然后还有就是你的一些员工身份证明信、员工身份证明书等等。然后如果你有参与近期的一些工作上的一些文件一些等等的话呢，那你也可以提供的，就证明说你是被这家公司所聘请，那么你是必须要回到澳洲来履行你作为一个员工的一些责任的。那同时呢，除此之外呢，你也可以提供一些工资流水单银行流水单等等的，来证明说你是被雇佣的一个状态。
Okay, the last and not the least substantial tie is personal tie. So personal tie, it has to be substantial. Remember that. So we have client come and say, "Oh, my siblings are in Australia. Is this substantial?" I would say that you need more substantial ties. So what are the documents to prove is that you have to provide Australian passport of your family member who are living in Australia. And if you are married in Australian, you have to provide your spouse marriage certificate. And you have a children that is Australia citizen, you provide the birth certificate. And children who are studying in Australia, you provide their school enrollment, your university enrollment. And those of you who own property, right, you must demonstrate you have assets in Australia. And very important, you also need to demonstrate that you have a current resident. So a lease agreement or a property ownership. So talking of property ownership, I will always remind you about Yong service. So those of you who have not purchased your first home yet, it's a good time. I understand the interest rate is quite reasonable that Yong has put up for overseas residents to apply for a home mortgage. Over to you, Kay.
OK， thank you, Michael。那么首先之后呢，我们来说一下最后的一个tie， 就是一个纽带与澳洲的一个纽带关系，那就是一个 personal tie。那 personal tie 呢，如果你今天你告诉我们说那我有我兄弟姐妹在澳洲，那么可以这个证明来证明说我有 personal tie 在澳洲吗？那么兄弟姐妹的话呢，那关系上面呢就会比较牵强一点。我们会鼓励你提供更多关于自己属于本身的一些 personal tie， 比如说你的妻子、你的孩子是属于直系关系的话呢，那会非常之好。 那你如果你今天你娶了一个澳洲的另一半的话呢，那么你可以提供你另一半的澳洲护照，然后或者是结婚证书等等。然后如果你有小孩子出生在澳洲的话呢，那么你也可以提供澳洲籍的出生公证，证明说你有孩子、有妻子、丈夫在澳洲的。那你必须要回到澳洲来跟你的家人团圆，因为澳洲是非常的注重家庭团圆这一块的。那么还有其他证明，就是证明说你的孩子正在接受澳洲的教育，可以是小学、中学，甚至是大学的，都无所谓，没有限制。那同时呢，除了亲子关系之外呢，你也可以展示其他的材料证明，比如说你的房产、资产、你的财产在澳洲的，你可以提供你的个人银行流水单，证明说你在澳洲有所储蓄，或者是你在澳洲购买了房子，那你也可以提供土地权等等的。那么同时呢，你也可以提供你的房产证明，证明说你在澳洲是有自己的房子，澳洲有亲人，然后澳洲有财产。那这些都是一个非常怎么说，是非常一个强壮的一个理由，来让你可以以这个理由来申请 RRV 签证的。
Thank you, Kay. So with that, that's my last slide on the resident return visa. I just have a quick summary. Is that Eastern Migration is very specialized in resident return visa. We have done quite a number of this application. We have clients that have been using our service every year for them to renew on the yearly purpose, yearly renewal. And then for Kitson, basically when you meet up with us or even our clients who got their visa, the first permanent resident visa, if you have not decided to move to Australia and you are worried that how you're going to renew your RRV, it's good to reach out to us. We will give you advice years ahead for you to build your ties, your substantial ties in Australia. Don't come to me and say, oh, my visa will expire tomorrow. I have no ties. How am I going to renew, right? But again, there are ways for you to move on. The easiest way to save your permanent resident is flying to Australia the day before your visa expires. So once you're in Australia, you are okay. Your visa is indefinite. You can stay on in Australia, and then you can continue to build the ties. So at this screen is my contact, my colleague contact. You can always reach out to us directly to our mobile phone. You can reach us through Facebook. You can reach us through our website. So without further ado, I'll pass the floor back to Jimmy.
Thanks, Dato. Thanks, Kay and Kay. I have actually a few questions from the floor. Before I proceed with the Q&A, we will try to take as many questions as possible, but due to time constraint, we may not able to attend to all of the questions. If we were to miss out your question, do not worry. Either Ms. K, if related to property and finance or anything on migration, Kitson's site will contact you personally to assist you or to clear all your queries. The first question is actually, I would more direct to Dato, is from Mr. Sin.
Yep.
He was a PR in 2002 to 2009.
Okay.
His son was born in Australia while a PR, which by default, the son is an Australian citizen.
Yeah.
He left Australia and back in Malaysia for remaining of the year. Now they want to move back to Australia. Is it possible to use RRV or they have to start a new application?
Okay, looking at that, if it's the visa expired in 2009, so I assume that it's already more than 10 years. Mr. Sim is out of Australia. So he has to provide a compelling reason during the absent period. I would say that it's not a straightforward application, but we have done a few. There's a lot of documents to provide. So you must have an incident, as what my colleague has said, where you are back home, just say example, a very close family member is sick, that will delay you from traveling back. So the longer you miss Australia, the harder the compelling reason will be. So I would not want to discourage you, but there are ways for you to apply for it. One very good one is you have a child that is Australian citizen. So that is a very good substantial personal tie. However, if the child is already independent, then the child can basically has the right to go back to Australia on his own if he's independent. Then the time may not be that substantial.
Okay.
But anyway, do give us a contact. I can happy to meet up with you and to run through what are the compelling reasons that you can build, or you have already built. Sorry.
Thanks, Dato. Mr. Sin, I hope that clear your queries. And if you have more questions, our Kidson's colleague will contact you, or you can actually contact us. The next one is Miss K Yang. Okay, Mr. Chong here plans to do some property investment in Australia. He will be getting his PR soon. Is that on the loan provided by Brighten? Do you have restriction on types of properties that you provided, or it could be all across?
Generally, it's all across. We can accept a torrents title, strata title, or community title, and even crumb lease in the state ACT. And of course, the security must be residential. We can't accept commercial for now. And also, the internal size needs to be above 40 square meters. And you know, for the same person, he cannot have more than 3 properties inside one development. Other than that, we can accept all.
Oh, you mean that he can have as many property as possible, but not within the same development?
Yeah, within the same development, he can have less than 3, and but we do have a maximum loan size exposure per person that's up to 3 million. So he can have as many as he desire, but you know the total loan amount must be lower than 3 million Australian dollars.
Thank you. Because for some reason, Malaysian have I've been through someone who have this habit of not collecting stamp but collecting properties. So,
yeah.
They tend
It's a
to
good habit.
gather lots and lots of properties. Okay, the next one, Miss K. Upon submission of document, usually how long will you able to come back with a approval or a decline on the loan? And this is a 2-part question, okay? And what is the benchmark they need to set? For instance, when in Malaysia, okay, when the client want to subscribe for a loan for their property, the loan should not be more than 1/4, if I'm not mistaken, of their gross income. So is there any benchmark before they submit for the property?
In terms of processing time, we have a 48 hours SLA for issue a conditional approval. Of course, in the conditional, all supporting documents are submitted. And after that, we take about 2 weeks, that's 14 days to grant a formal approval for a loan. In the condition, of course, again, all the supporting documents are provided. So it's a very fast turnover time. Yeah, and for the benchmark, we use a very flexible approach, and we will weigh in because individuals are very different. Every people have very different situations, and we will weigh in and find the best solution for the client.
Okay, so which means anyone can actually try, but submit their documents to you, depends on your reply within the next 48 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Next, Dato, this is from Mr. Lim. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Lim actually just got his visa subclass 491. Okay. This is he just want to plan ahead, according to Mr. Lim. He will be continue working in Malaysia, whereby the wife and the children will be moving to Australia. So his question is, what do he need to plan ahead for him to actually do his RRV or 491 actually do they require to do RRV? I'm not very sure.
Yeah, Subclass 491 is a provisional scale visa. It is granted to him for 5 years, and he has to work and live in a regional area for 3 years. So before he can apply for a permanent resident. So which means he's not a holder of permanent resident. make sure he satisfied the condition of 491 to convert in the permanent resident. So once you convert, say example, he moved in there and on the 4th year, he satisfied all the requirement, he applied and within just say a year, by the 5th year, he's given the permanent resident, right, Subclass 191, he will be able to have a 5 years period. So in that 5 years, if he can't stay 2 years in the last 5 years, then he has to build up substantial ties.
Okay, thanks, Dato. This is again by Mr. Chong, who asked about the property loan just now. Mr. Chong asked, if he were to start a company to do lots of property investment, can he use that company to justify his businesses for his resident visa, return visa in the future?
Is that question to me or to
Yes,
Ms. Yang?
Dato, to you, sorry, Dato.
Okay, so repeat again. Sorry, I missed that out.
Mr. Chong asked, okay, if he were to set up a company, let's say Mr. Chong Private Limited Australia, okay, and he used this company to buy properties. So can he use this company for his RRV later?
Okay, if it's for business tie, it has to be an active business tie. Yeah? So by simply collecting rental is passive, right? So unless you are talking about you basically end up owning a building, you turn it into a hotel, example, where you have housekeeping, you have management team, right? Or you turn it into a student accommodation where you provide facilities, you provide canteen, all right? So that can be considered as an active, but by just having a company like most nations do, they own a realty company where they buy property A, B, C, D, and then they collect renter, yeah, and then they use the company to reduce their, in general, the tax to pay because it's under company tax, and that will consider passive. It will not work that way.
Oh, understand, Dato. Thank you. Miss K, do they have an age limit for loan application like in Malaysia?
Sorry?
Do they have an age limit? That means you cannot exceed certain age for applying a property loan via Brighten.
I think, compared to the loans in Malaysia, we do have some other niche part. Like for instance, we don't have an age discriminate. We can accept applicants regardless the age. As far as I understand in Malaysia, I think there's an age limit for person 60 years old or 65, depending on different lenders. And for us, Brighten, we can learn up to 30 years regardless to the applicant age, as long as he meets our credit criteria, and of course he needs to provide a solid exit strategy. So in that sense, we have a niche part. And also the turnover, like I said, the turnover time is very smooth, and our credit policy is very solid and consistent. We will try our best to grant a loan for the applicant. So yeah, I think that's our niche part.
So basically, anyone who proved they can able to service the loan, there will be no age discrimination in Australia.
Yes, that's correct.
That's nice to hear that. Okay, the next question is about property. Based on what you have shared with us earlier about what the government have did, this is from Ms. K. In your personal opinion, is it a good time for the investor to actually shop for property now in Australia?
I think this is a very, very good question. And I understand there are a lot of professionals, economists, or analysts they're sharing their thoughts on a daily basis, and then they are certainly much more qualified than me. So maybe today I'm going to share something from my own point of view. As a normal, ordinary person, or as an immigrant myself. Is 2020 the best year ever? No, certainly not, because it has been a very tough year so far, at least. But in order to make an informed decision whether you choose to immigrate to Australia or invest in Australia, I think it's not enough to just to judge a country or people during the glorious moments or the good times. It's also very important to see how the government react, how the market react, how the people react during these difficult times. But since the pandemic happened, I think Australia government has taken some very effective measurements to control the risk, and in order to ensure a reliable, safe environment for everybody lives in this beautiful land. And also the market is still very firm and healthy. And also the people, even though we need to keep our social distance, but yet we still feel closely connected to each other. So I think, this community, Australia, is a very safe, reliable, caring country. But I think, as an immigrant, that is certainly something we are all looking for to start our home, to start our family. So if Australia is the place, then I think it's always a good time to invest in Australia. But again, I understand all the investors are different, all the situations are different. So the timing really can be vastly different for individuals. But I think Australia is certainly a good place to live in. Yeah.
Thank you for your insightful input, Ms. Kay. Okay, we will take one last question from the floor. For those who are not able to attend to your question, we apologize, but not to worry. We will run through the question and we will contact you as soon as we can, either from Brighton side or from Kitson side. So the last question is actually directed to Dato. Dato, in your presentation, you did mention about employment ties.
Yeah,
If I were to be employed by my own company, then repost myself back to Malaysia for justification, is it possible to do that?
Once you are I will consider as a self-employed. All right. So if that situation, then I will look at your business tie. Yeah. So business tie is more important compared with the employment tie, because it's that you have an Australian company employing yourself working overseas, and the department will say, okay, so what is your Australian company doing, and what are you doing overseas, So if your business in Australia is active, you are a paid working director, then I would say that I will use your Australia business tie, which is more substantial. It's easier to justify that way. Yeah.
Okay, I understand, Dato. So which means, to follow up on your answer, Dato, so if I were to set up a company in Australia, actually this is from Mr. Lee, okay, how do I show that my company is active? Do I need to provide record of employments, or my company have to have profits and so forth?
Yeah, the company must be active, so which means it's a genuine trading company, a company that's running actively in Australia. If you have hired local staff, it'll be good for us to demonstrate that you have employed local. We usually will also want to see your business activity statements, the GST you have paid, all right, the tax that you're filed in. So everything that you put in must make sense. And I always tell a client, it has to be genuine. Yeah. And if you were to just create a shell company in Australia coming out with employment, not I say that the person who provided this question are thinking that if we have cases where they come to us and saying that, oh, can I just create a company in Australia, a shell company in Australia, and then I end up working back home, and I'll just pay my salary in Australia, I would say that that does not make sense, right? Because the company is not active.
Okay, thank you very much. So Mr. Lee, I hope that answered your question. If you have more questions, not to worry, you can always contact us. Our team of consultants will advise you and have a one-to-one appointment if you require. And thank you for everyone who are joining us today. And this is all the time that we have today. And thank you to all our speakers today, the two beautiful ladies, Miss K and Miss K, and also Dr. Michael. We will see you again next week to share on some other thing. Which is something more interesting. We will share on wine. The comparison of the New World wine. Australia is known for their New World wine. It's one of the most famous Shiraz producer in the world for the New World wine. So we actually get a winemaker to share about their wine and the lifestyle. No businesses, just pleasure next week. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Jimmy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jimmy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.